Chosen one, this message did not find you by accident. You were led here on purpose. God guided your steps to this exact moment because your spirit was ready to hear what your mind has been questioning. You have been asking for signs. You have been asking for clarity. You have been asking God, is this really you? Am I truly on the right path? This message is not random encouragement. It is not emotional motivation. It is the final confirmation your spirit has been waiting for. Not because you doubted God, but because the weight of the calling you carry required certainty. God knows when a chosen one needs reassurance before the next move. What you are about to hear is meant to settle something deep inside you. Once this message lands, confusion will lose its grip. Fear will lose its voice. Hesitation will lose its power. This is the moment where heaven says, yes, this is it. Move forward. Before we go any further, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe because what you are about to hear is not just another message. This is not content. This is confirmation. And to everyone who has been supporting through super thanks, may God bless you abundantly. Your consistency, your faithfulness, and your willingness to stand with this word matter more than you know. Every time you engage, every time you align, every time you show up, you are helping this message reach the exact people God is calling in this moment. I am truly grateful for you. If your spirit already feels settled, if something in you knows this is speaking directly to where you are, type 77 in the comments right now. That number is not random. It is a signal of readiness. Ready to stop questioning, ready to stop hesitating, ready to move forward with confidence into what God has already approved. Understand this clearly. Not everyone will stay until the end of this message. Only those who are truly chosen will remain because their spirit recognizes confirmation before the mind tries to debate it. Those who stay will receive clarity, alignment, and peace about the direction they are being called to take next. This is not a message you listen to casually and move past. This is a settling word, a closing word, a final confirmation meant to anchor your faith and silence doubt. Return to it whenever your spirit needs reassurance. But know this, after this message, God is not asking you to keep looking for signs. He is asking you to walk. Chosen one. The reason this message is reaching you now is because you have already walked through seasons that would have broken most people. This confirmation did not arrive early, and it did not arrive by chance. It arrived on divine schedule after endurance, after surrender, after obedience that went unseen and unrewarded in the natural. God waited until you were strong enough to carry the truth of this confirmation without pride and humble enough to receive it without fear. Confirmation does not come at the beginning of the journey because the beginning is built on faith alone. In the beginning, there are no guarantees, no clear signs, no loud affirmations. There is only trust. Confirmation comes later after you have proven that you will still walk with God when there is no applause, no reassurance, and no visible progress. It comes after you chose faith when logic failed you and obedience when quitting would have felt justified. You were tested in isolation where encouragement was scarce and understanding was absent. You had to learn how to stand without being supported, how to pray without being affirmed, how to believe without being surrounded. In that isolation, God was building your spiritual backbone. He was teaching you how to hear His voice clearly without interference, without dependency on others, without emotional crutches. You were refined in delay where promises felt distant and timelines made no sense. Every delay stretched your patience and challenged your trust. You asked God why it was taking so long. But what he was really asking was whether you would remain faithful without a deadline. Delay taught you discipline. It taught you restraint. It taught you how to wait without becoming bitter. You were strengthened through rejection where doors closed, people misunderstood you, and support disappeared without explanation. Rejection forced you to stop seeking validation from people who could not carry your destiny. It taught you that not everyone who starts with you is meant to continue with you. What felt like loss was actually protection. What felt like betrayal was actually redirection. There were moments when it truly felt like nothing was moving, like heaven was silent and your prayers were unanswered. But during those moments, heaven was watching closely. God was observing your posture under pressure. How you handled disappointment, how you spoke when you were tired, how you treated others when you felt overlooked, how you obeyed even when obedience cost you comfort. God does not confirm lightly because confirmation carries weight. When God confirms, it means the preparation is complete and the foundation is strong. It means you have developed the maturity, discernment, and stability required for what is coming next. The pain you endured was not punishment. It was preparation. The waiting was not denial. It was alignment. The resistance was not failure. It was evidence that something valuable was being protected, tested, and strengthened within you. This confirmation is arriving now because you have already passed internal tests that others never even notice. Tests of patience when nothing changed. Tests of integrity when compromise was tempting. Tests of faith when quitting would have been understandable. You proved faithful in private. You remained aligned in silence. You stayed obedient when no one was watching. Chosen one. The signs you have been noticing are not coincidence, and they are not imagination or emotional sensitivity. The repetition you keep encountering. The inner nudges that quietly but persistently pull at your spirit. The messages that seem to locate you at the exact moment you are questioning your next step. None of this is accidental. Even the sudden moments of clarity that appear after long seasons of confusion are part of a divine pattern. Heaven has been speaking to you consistently. God always speaks in patterns before he moves in manifestation. He prepares the spirit before he changes the environment. Your spirit has been alert because the door you have been praying about is no longer closed. What once felt blocked has been unlocked in the spirit realm. Even if the natural world has not fully caught up yet, the instruction has already been released in the unseen. Alignment has already been approved. That is why your spirit responds so strongly to certain messages and completely rejects others. You are no longer in a season of uncertainty. You are in a season of recognition. Your spirit knows what belongs to you now, and it refuses to be distracted by what no longer fits. You were not imagining the shift. You were discerning it. Your spirit recognized alignment before circumstances could confirm it. This is how spiritual maturity shows itself. You no longer need proof before obedience. You sense direction before evidence appears. When confirmation is near, truth begins to echo. The same message shows up through different people. The same instruction repeats in different forms. The same direction becomes impossible to ignore. You may have noticed that certain words keep standing out to you. Certain ideas keep resurfacing no matter how much you try to dismiss them. Certain doors keep presenting themselves again even after you thought you closed them. This is not pressure. It is precision. God repeats what is essential because he knows you are standing at the edge of movement, and hesitation is the last thing that needs to be addressed. When confirmation is near, truth becomes persistent. It knocks gently at first, then firmly. It appears in prayer, in quiet moments, in unexpected conversations, and even in interruptions you did not plan for. God is not confusing you. He is narrowing your focus. He is aligning your inner world with what He has already authorized in the Spirit. This is also why ignoring the signs has become uncomfortable. Silence no longer feels peaceful when you try to avoid the truth. Distraction no longer satisfies the way it once did. Your spirit knows something has shifted, and it will not allow you to settle back into uncertainty. What once felt optional now feels urgent. What once felt distant now feels close. This message is not just another sign added to the list. It is the final knock. The moment where heaven says, "You have seen enough. You have heard enough. You have been prepared enough." Stop questioning what has already been confirmed and start trusting what you know. Chosen one, understand this clearly. God is not correcting your obedience in this season. He is settling your doubt. You have already been faithful. You have already shown up. You have already done what He asked. Even when it cost you comfort, security, familiarity, and sometimes relationships, your obedience has been proven through consistency, not convenience. Heaven is not questioning your willingness. What God is addressing now is the quiet hesitation that lived in your thoughts, not because you lacked faith, but because the weight of the assignment you carry required clarity. Before the next level of movement, the mind had to align fully with the Spirit. God knows that divided focus creates resistance, and He does not want you stepping into acceleration while still second-guessing yourself internally. Doubt does not mean a lack of faith. It means you care deeply about obedience being accurate. It means you respect the responsibility attached to what God is doing in your life. You are not doubting God's power. You are questioning your readiness. You are asking if you heard correctly, if you interpreted the instruction properly, if the timing was truly right. God understands that kind of doubt because it comes from humility, not rebellion. That is why God sends confirmation before acceleration. He does not rush chosen ones into movement while their mind is still wrestling with uncertainty. Acceleration without clarity leads to anxiety. But acceleration with confirmation produces confidence, peace, and stability. God is not interested in rushed obedience that collapses under pressure. He is establishing rooted obedience that can withstand speed, visibility, and responsibility. This message is not calling you to go back and redo anything. You are not starting over. You are not delayed. Nothing needs to be corrected. This message is calling you to stand firm in what has already been established. To stop second-guessing every decision, to stop revisiting old fears, to stop looking backward for permission from people who were never assigned to understand your path. Heaven has already approved what you are becoming. The process already qualified you, the struggle already refined you, the waiting already matured you. You do not need another sign to believe. You need to trust what God has already confirmed. Once doubt dissolves, movement becomes natural. Direction feels lighter. Decisions feel clearer. Obedience stops feeling heavy and starts feeling aligned. You no longer move out of pressure. You move out of peace. This is the shift happening within you now. God is not pushing you forward. He is releasing you from hesitation. And once you are released, movement will no longer feel forced. It will feel inevitable. Chosen one, hear this with clarity and seriousness. Confirmation without action will always lead to stagnation. God is not only affirming you in this season, He is activating you. This message was not released to emotionally uplift you and then leave you in the same position. It was released to shift you from awareness into movement, from spiritual understanding into lived obedience. Something must change after this message. Not how you feel, but how you move. God never confirms something simply to reassure. This message is not introducing a new step. It is calling you to finally take the one you already know. You also know where obedience has been postponed. Not because you lack faith, but because you wanted clarity, safety, or confirmation from people who were never meant to approve your assignment. But obedience does not wait for comfort. It responds to calling. God is not asking you to leap blindly. He is asking you to trust Him with the step He has already revealed. This confirmation is heaven saying now, not later when fear settles down. Not when conditions improve. Not when everyone understands your decision. Waiting for perfect conditions often disguises itself as wisdom. But many times it is fear asking for more time. God is not waiting for circumstances to change. He is waiting for alignment to take place. When alignment happens, circumstances follow. Faith responds. Belief listens. Many people believe what God says, but few allow that belief to interrupt their comfort, routines, and attachments. This message is not meant to comfort you into stillness or keep you circling the same place spiritually. It is meant to activate you into alignment with what heaven has already approved. Action does not require full understanding of the entire path. God rarely reveals the whole picture at once. He gives the next step because movement itself unlocks further instruction. When you move, clarity increases. When you act, provision follows. When you obey, momentum is released. This is the moment where faith becomes visible, not theoretical. Where trust becomes motion, not intention. Where confirmation becomes obedience, and obedience becomes acceleration. Chosen one, heaven has spoken clearly. What happens next will be determined not by what you believe, but by how you respond. Chosen one, understand this truth deeply. Pressure always increases right before authorization becomes visible. The enemy does not fight what is uncertain, inactive, or undecided. Resistance only shows up when something has been approved in the spirit realm. When heaven has already given permission, opposition responds in an attempt to delay what it cannot cancel. That is why the pressure intensified now and not earlier. What you have been feeling recently is not random. The emotional heaviness that seems to sit on your chest, the mental fatigue that made even simple decisions feel exhausting. The sudden challenges, misunderstandings, and unexpected resistance that appeared all at once. These were not signals telling you to stop. They were signals that movement was close. You were feeling the tension of transition, the space between who you have been and who you are becoming. That tension is uncomfortable because it requires release. It forces you to let go of what is familiar before you fully step into what is new. Old structures could no longer contain the version of you that is emerging. The places that once fit you began to feel restrictive. The routines that once worked began to feel draining. The conversations that once felt normal began to feel heavy. Even your own patterns started to feel misaligned. This discomfort was not weakness. It was growth. Expansion always creates pressure before it creates freedom. Pressure exposes what no longer belongs. It brings clarity where comfort once allowed compromise. God allows pressure not to crush you, but to push you out of spaces you have already outgrown. What felt like resistance was actually redirection. What felt like attack was actually confirmation that you were standing at the edge of change. This is why the pressure came suddenly and intensely. Transition does not announce itself gently. It disrupts. It shakes what can no longer remain. It demands decision. God was not punishing you. He was preparing you. The pressure was revealing that the season you were in had reached its expiration. This confirmation is God letting you know that the pressure was not sent to break you. It was sent to signal that something is ending so something greater can begin. Endings feel heavy because they require trust. They require courage. They require movement without full visibility. But endings also unlock new authority, new access, and new alignment. The pressure increased because you were close to crossing a threshold. The weight you felt was the weight of transition pressing against the old version of you. God was stripping away what could not go forward so you could move freely into what has been prepared. Do not interpret pressure as failure. Do not see it as a sign that you are off track. Recognize it for what it truly is, a sign that momentum is building. You are not being pushed backward. You are being propelled forward into the next season God has already confirmed. Chosen one, after this confirmation, understand that your role shifts into a higher level of responsibility. You will no longer be required to explain yourself, justify your decisions, or defend the path God has placed before you. You will be required to trust God fully and move with confidence even when your direction is misunderstood. The next season you are stepping into will not make sense to everyone, and it was never meant to. God does not consult public opinion before He moves. He consults obedience. Some people will question your choices because they cannot see what God revealed to you in private. Others will misunderstand your direction because they are interpreting your obedience through the lens of their own fears, insecurities, or limitations. Some will feel uncomfortable simply because your growth exposes where they chose to remain. Their reaction is not a reflection of your error. It is evidence of your movement. That is not your burden to carry. Obedience does not need consensus. God is calling you to release the need to be understood by everyone. The desire to constantly explain yourself can quietly become a form of bondage. It keeps you tied to opinions that were never meant to shape your destiny. Every explanation you give drains energy that should be used for alignment and obedience. God is teaching you that when He is leading, your responsibility is to follow, not to convince. This is why God is shifting your posture toward quiet confidence. Quiet confidence does not announce every move or reveal every plan. It does not feel pressured to update people or justify timing. Quiet confidence is rooted in trust. Trust that God is guiding your steps, guarding your path, and confirming your obedience in ways that do not require your intervention. In this next season, discernment will be more valuable than communication. You will need to know when silence is wisdom and when speaking is unnecessary. Not everyone deserves access to your process, your struggles, or your next steps. Some people ask questions not because they want to support you, but because they want to evaluate, doubt, or influence you. God is teaching you to protect what He is building by limiting who gets to comment on it. This confirmation marks the end of seeking approval and the beginning of walking in authority. Authority does not ask permission to obey God. Authority does not repeatedly explain itself. Authority moves with assurance because it knows who sent it and why. When you are confident in God's instruction, you do not need to defend your obedience to anyone. There will be moments when misunderstanding feels uncomfortable and the urge to explain yourself rises. In those moments, choose peace over persuasion. Let alignment be your response. Let obedience be your statement. Over time, consistency will speak louder than explanations ever could. God will validate what He initiated without your help. What He confirmed in private will eventually be revealed publicly at the appointed time. Until then, your assignment is to trust God, stay aligned, and keep moving forward without apology. This is the posture of maturity. This is the posture of authority. This is what it looks like when a chosen one stops proving and starts walking boldly into what has already been confirmed. Chosen one. This is the last confirmation. Not because God has gone silent, but because clarity has already been established. God does not continue repeating the same message once understanding has been given. Confirmation was necessary while you were discerning. It was necessary while you were being prepared internally. But now faith takes over. Now comes trust without constant reassurance. Now comes movement without needing another sign. Now comes embodiment of what you already know in your spirit to be true. There is a moment when God stops sending additional confirmation and starts watching for response. That moment is now. Faith is not passive. It is active. It moves forward on what has already been revealed. You are not meant to stay in a loop of seeking more messages, more signs, or more validation. You have heard enough. You have been shown enough. The next step requires trust, not more information. Let this truth settle deeply within you. You are not late. Everything unfolded in the exact order required to prepare you. You are not confused. Your spirit has clarity even if your mind questioned along the way. You are not unqualified. The very process you endured was your qualification. You are positioned exactly where obedience meets opportunity. You are prepared through everything you survived, learned, and released. You are confirmed by heaven, not by circumstance or opinion. Let this message quiet the inner dialogue that keeps revisiting old doubts. Let it silence the questions that no longer serve you. Let it anchor your confidence in what God has already approved. You do not need to rehearse what went wrong or fear what lies ahead. You only need to take the step that has already been placed in front of you. From this point forward, faith will be demonstrated through consistency. Trust will be revealed through obedience. Confidence will grow as you move, not as you wait. You may not feel completely ready, but readiness is not a feeling. It is alignment, and you are aligned. Chosen one, heaven has spoken clearly. The instruction has been given. The confirmation has been released. Now walk forward not in fear, not in hesitation, not in search of another sign, but in faith. Conclusion. Chosen one, as this message comes to a close, understand that nothing you have heard was accidental. Every word was meant to meet you at this exact moment because you are standing at a turning point. This is not the end of something. It is the beginning of alignment. The searching season is ending. The questioning season is closing. The season of steady, faithful movement is beginning. You have received what you needed. Not more signs, not more confirmation, but clarity. From this point forward, your peace will be your indicator. Your obedience will be your language. Your consistency will be your evidence. You do not need to rush. And you do not need to retreat. You only need to stay aligned and keep moving in the direction God has already revealed. There may still be moments where fear whispers or doubt tries to revisit. But now you know what to do. You return to what has already been confirmed. You stand on what God has already spoken. You walk forward even when your emotions fluctuate. Because faith is not driven by feeling. It is anchored in trust.